It's Wolf, and I have another Club Penguin video, but it's actually an Experimental Penguins video. So, to get right into it, if you guys remember, a while ago I showed this on the channel, the Experimental Penguins demo. This is the same demo that I showed in that video where it was on Rocket Snail's website, and it's pretty interesting. It's a single-player version of the original Experimental Penguins, and you can kind of wander around and look at the rooms and stuff. Because it's single player, you obviously can't run into any other players or anything like that. But this is pretty much the first iteration of anything that would end up becoming Club Penguin. So recently, I was kind of remembering another thing, and I've mentioned it on Twitter before and stuff, but there was another version of Experimental Penguins that was actually called Penguin Chat, which is what we have right here. The weird thing about this version of Penguin Chat was that it was called Penguin Chat, but it wasn't actually Penguin Chat. So Rocket Snail Games had their own version of Penguin Chat 1 and 3, and I don't remember if there was a Penguin Chat 2 or not. This isn't that. This is just a modified version of Experimental Penguins. And the weird thing about it is that it's the company that owned this version or whatever, that had licensed it from Rocket Snail, is called Contact Music. And it seems really out of place because they don't really do anything else in relation to game stuff. They're still around now. So I don't know if maybe they were just trying to capitalize on the popularity of it or whatever, but this was around for quite a while. The weird thing is this version of Experimental Penguins, or Penguin Chat, or whatever you want to call it, existed for I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was past 2010. It coexisted with Club Penguin for a while, and I even did play it online. It was always weird though, because you could swear on it and stuff, because I don't know if they were trying to necessarily use it as a kids game or just as a general chat room. But you could choose a different themed penguin, and it was pretty much exactly the same as what I just showed with Experimental Penguins, but just with these themed penguins, and it was from Contact Music. Now the thing is, you can get this SWF file yourself right on archive.org, but the problem is that there's no way to actually play this because it's not a specifically single-player demo. So if you try to play it, it'll try to connect to the server. It won't connect because obviously the server for it doesn't exist anymore. And there's not really any easy way around that. But the interesting thing is, there was another spin-off of Experimental Penguins owned by Contact Music, and that was Penguin Football Chat. So this is kind of interesting because it was kind of the same thing again, but it was also a little bit different. It was the same Experimental Penguins base, but this time it was the Penguins were on a soccer field, so it's football in the European sense of soccer. Now the thing is, this version of the game also won't work if you try to just play it normally because it can't connect to anything. But I found out that you can still load into the game if you just use a flash projector like I am, and you just keep clicking step forward. Eventually it'll go through all these screens, and now it has us loaded into the game. It'll load you into the game as a random penguin, so you can't pick whichever penguin you want to play as. This is what it'll load you into. This is pretty interesting. Oh, and I think if we go, and there's a soccer ball also. That didn't pop up when I was messing around with this earlier. So I think we need to step forward one more time, and then the chat gets enabled. There's also a way to, there it is, yeah, the rooms thing. I don't know if the ball will work or not, since this is kind of a glitchy version of it. But I think the chat works. So yeah, and obviously I didn't enter in a penguin name, so there's not a penguin name. But it's just really interesting to see this, because it's kind of a mix between Experimental Penguins and then also that other version of it that I just showed you guys. That was the Contact Music Penguin Chat, and this was also another Contact Music thing. And this also coexisted alongside that other version of Penguin Chat owned by Contact Music. And this was also around for a while at the same time as Club Penguin. And yeah, and you can also visit different colored rooms with different colored goals and different orients. So that's kind of interesting. I DM'd Club Penguin lore Riboflavin on Twitter and asked him if he knew anything about this, because it's really kind of obscure and weird, this whole Contact Music version of Experimental Penguins Penguin Chat stuff. And he didn't really have that much else to add, so he was saying something about that there were maybe some references to this in Epic Snails, but otherwise that it was kind of a lot of stuff that I just mentioned already. So yeah, and I'll leave a link to his Twitter page down below though, so you guys can go check it out. It's Club Penguin lore. He has a ton of stuff that he posts on there about Club Penguin's lore. But yeah, so this is just really interesting. I just wanted to make a quick video to show it to you guys, and also just because it's cool that I figured out a way to kind of break the game almost to load into it still, because well, I mean, it's just kind of interesting to be able to look at it again, even though it's like playing that single player client, but like it's a glitch to get it to work. But anyway, I wish I could get the other version, the other Contact music one to work, but this same glitch doesn't work on that one. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you found this video interesting. I'll see you in other ones, and bye-bye.